Hi guys, this is Lucky with Lucky Sevens Tarot, and I am back talking with you today about Gemini women. Okay, not only am I an astrologer and tarot card reader, so it's my job professionally to know about the masculine and feminine energies for each sign, but my mother is a Taurus Gemini cusp. My sister is a Gemini. My best friend is a Gemini. My ex-husband is a Gemini. So I have significant relationships with Geminis in general, but especially women. So this video might be helpful for you if you are interested in a Gemini woman, you're trying to date one, or if you are a Gemini woman, you just want to learn more about yourself, or maybe you know all this stuff and you have some comments that you want to, let me know. Everything, you can put it all in the comment section below, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to say, okay? Let's get into this, all right? Now, Gemini women are ruled by Mercury. So they're ruled by the planet of communication. That makes them more of like a sapiosexual. If you don't know what a sapiosexual is, it's like someone who really is turned on mentally. Mental stimulation is what gets them going, all right? So if you're not somebody who can hold a good conversation, you can probably forget about dating a Gemini. They ain't having it, all right? If you're not good with communication, yeah, you're probably not going to get anywhere with the Gemini, okay? Gemini women can be very, very indecisive, especially when it comes to their careers. For example, my sister, who's a Gemini, she went to school to be a cosmetologist, and she's amazing at doing hair. She graduated and everything, got her license, and decided that she didn't like it. And now she decided to go in another direction, completely opposite direction, where she does really intricate, like, cake decorating and stuff like that. And she's an amazing cake decorator. And she does like all these really cool themed cakes and sweet treats and stuff like that. And they're really, really good. And that's another thing with Gemini women. They're super creative. And usually when they go after something and have a goal, they can master it and become really, really well, or, really good at it. So, with my sister, she's really good at hair. She's really good at cake decorating. She's really great at DIY stuff, like making your own wreaths and, just all these different things. And a lot of times, like, she has like all this stuff in her house that she just sits and does arts and crafts and creative stuff, and that is indicative of Gemini behavior. They love to create, whether it's musically or writing, things like that. Super creative people, all right? They're very, very witty, super witty. They will hit you with a one-line punch that you'll be cracking up for days. Like, my sister and my best friend both should literally walk around with a camera crew, because if you catch them, you will be laughing so hard that your cheeks hurt, because they're super funny, and they don't even, I think, necessarily mean to be that way. That's just their personality as Geminis. They're very, very witty. They're very helpful. They will go out of their way to help the people that they care about, to help elderly people. They are not, their emotions sometimes can be all over the place, but they don't really like to show emotion. They're not very comfortable with emotions, so to speak. Now, and that depends, because they will cry, they will get upset, but usually they prefer it to be alone by themselves. All right. They're very private people. You might think that you know a Gemini woman, but you really probably don't know that Gemini woman. Like, she's probably got secrets for her secrets. They're just very, very private, and they only give you what they want to give you. And if they're not ready to communicate, like if they're upset about something and they're not over it, they're not ready to communicate, don't force it, don't push, because you're just going to awaken a beast, right? Gemini women, you know, if they've walked away and they've cooled down, like, just leave them alone. You know, they'll come back eventually and have a conversation with you when they're ready. And that's probably going to be your best bet, to just let it simmer down before you awaken a whole monster. They can be very sensitive and they can take things very personally. Okay. So make sure that, you know, as tough as they might seem, they do have that super sensitive side to themselves, but that sensitive side can come across as defensive in a lot of ways. So you kind of have to walk a fine line with them sometimes, especially when you're talking, you know, criticizing them. I think a lot of times they have issues with criticism. I feel like constructive criticism, they're more apt to take. But if you're just telling them, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that, and they feel like you're picking, yeah, you're probably not gonna get a good reaction from a Gemini woman if she feels attacked in any way. All right. They are extremely adaptable. They overcome many, many things in their lives, overcome against all odds. You know, they're really, really adaptable, which is incredible. They're kind of like, I don't want to say a chameleon because they don't blend in. Gemini women stand out for sure. But they are able to maneuver throughout life and whatever's thrown at them. You know, they figure it out and they get things pretty quickly, and then they excel. They definitely say exactly what they mean. They do not sugarcoat anything. If you ask a Gemini woman for her opinion, she's gonna tell you the truth. All right. She's not going to sugarcoat it. And they're super confident in themselves. Sometimes they mistake that self-confidence that they have, you know, they believe almost like everybody should have that or feel that way about themselves, and don't necessarily understand why other people don't necessarily feel that same way. So they may have like an inability to relate to people who are not confident in themselves a lot of times, you know. Structure can feel like a cage to them. They do not really like structure. They most of the time don't like working for anyone else. They want to be their own bosses. You know, they're amazing salespeople. They can sell you on anything. Gemini woman can sell salt to a snail. Facts. All right. They are hustlers. They're hustlers. They will make a way out of no way. I have seen it for myself. Okay. And they are not strangers to hard work. They will work their ass off if there's a dollar sign behind it to come up to attain a goal that they want to achieve. All right. They can be moody, you know, and an unenlightened Gemini woman can be gossipy sometimes. But they're not hurtful. Like, they don't like to hurt people. They're not hateful people at all. You know, they can be quick tempered. You know, they can be very quick tempered when they're not in a good mood, you know, so you might want to tiptoe when they're in that emotional, you know, dealing with that type of emotion, right? They definitely value friendships, and they have lifelong friends. Like, their friends they've got friendships from when they were like kids, you know, in preschool. They probably have those types of longevity in their friendships. Okay. They're very adventurous. They love doing new things, exploring new things, things like that. As far as a Gemini woman and her parenting, they're usually very tolerant and caring parents, right? But they do have a tendency to be a little bit short-tempered sometimes. And so that usually is something that they have to work on. But they can be really fun parents too, you know, wanting their kids to explore, allowing their children the freedom to explore, but they're super protective as well. Okay. And I think that for the most part, that is all mothers in all the zodiac signs, that they can be very protective of their children. But like I said, with Gemini women, I feel like they allow their kids to kind of go out and become themselves. You know, in a relationship, she needs her space. She needs the freedom to be independent, to work on her shit, to, you know, to create. She needs the freedom to have her own friendships and her own relationships with her friends. She is not the type of woman to be up under a man 24/7 and, you know, to forget that she has a whole other life and that she's got friends and family and people like that. Like a Gemini woman is really good at balancing her friends and her family life when she's in a relationship, but she also expects you to respect that she has other relationships outside of her relationship with you if you guys are partnered. Okay. And generally she'll try to bring it together because she likes to be, you know, around her family and her friends and in situations where she can laugh and communicate and, you know, bring everyone together, you know. Generally, for the most part, most Gemini women like either music, different types of music, can be very eclectic in their music. They like things that are different. So music, art, things like that, you know. So a good date for a Gemini woman would probably be to like art, or I want to say an art museum. I was going to say history museum. I could see that. That could work. But like an art museum or a musical museum, maybe even a concert from their favorite band where they're playing instruments and stuff like that. Like Gemini women like that type of stuff, right? You have to be able to love both sides of them. Remember, they're the twins in the zodiac. So they have another side to them. Some of them have multiple sides to them. And you have to be able, when you're in a relationship or partnership, to learn to love every piece or facet of who they are. You know, to at least at minimum respect it. If you don't, eventually the relationship will fall apart. Okay? Don't pressure them. Do not put pressure on them to share their feelings. And I did kind of touch on that in the beginning, but it's really important that you let them come to you in their own time, you know, not to put that pressure on them, to force them to communicate, because they're going to say shit that they don't mean, or not that they don't mean it, but that they may regret saying later. Okay. That they may be like, man, that was really harsh, you know. And Gemini women do not apologize unless they really, really did something that was hurtful and they know that they really owe you an apology. Otherwise, yeah, you're not going to get I'm sorry. Most of the time, they don't even, the I'm sorry is just, and they don't want to hear I'm sorry either. If you messed up, they don't want to hear I'm sorry. They want change behavior. They do not want to hear your excuses. They don't have excuses to give. They want to hear how you intend to change that behavior so it doesn't happen again. They don't want to hear nothing about I'm sorry, because I'm sorry, didn't do it, you did, you know. And that's kind of that mentality of a Gemini woman. You know, they definitely get bored easily. So they are really good about finding different things that they're interested in to keep themselves busy. And in relationships, you have to be able to keep them, you know, to keep them ticking, like to keep their interests. Otherwise, they can get bored. And then, not to say that they would cheat. I've honestly do not know Gemini women to really be cheaters. You know, I don't know them to necessarily be cheaters. They will walk away. Not to say that they aren't cheaters, but they are more of the type to walk away. And when they are done, they are done. There is no coming back. There's no backpedaling with a Gemini woman. 9 times out of 10, if she quit you, she knows she quit you for a reason. And you can say and do all of the things that you want, but they're good, you know. They made that decision for a reason, and they'll make peace with it eventually. Which brings me to my next thing about Gemini women, which is that Gemini women, they tend to want to be taken care of for the most part. They are very indecisive in work and career-wise, and they like to be left to do their projects and things like that. So if they're with a partner, they would love to be with a partner or thrive in a partnership where their partner was the one who made most of the money and they were able to focus on, you know, their other projects, or to work in an environment where their husband or partner went away, like was a truck driver or a salesman that went on business trips and stuff, and left them to kind of their own devices for a day or two so that they could work, especially if they work in a creative field, so that they could work and really delve themselves into that, and then come home and be about family and togetherness with their partner. Okay, that's that need for freedom and then togetherness. But they do not, as much as they don't want to be under you and they don't want you under them, they don't want you far away either. So it's kind of like, I think I posted something about, do you want space or do you want attention? And then it was like a meme where it's like, me, I want spatention. Like, that's kind of the energy of a Gemini woman. Like, yeah, I want you to be able to come and give me a kiss and a hug and love on me for 2 minutes and then go back to doing what you were doing, you know, that type of energy. And maybe not at first, you know, when you first start a relationship, they can be, you know, in it, wanting your attention, you know, wanting to communicate with you all the time and stuff like that. And then as time goes on and you guys are together for a while, they're like, listen, I need my time to go over here and do what I like to do and be myself and get in touch with me. You know, they definitely are big on self-care, taking care of themselves. They're very understanding of their own needs and what they need to thrive and survive. And sometimes that can come across as a little bit selfish to other people on the outside looking in, and to them, they realize like, this is what I need in order to be able to give anything beyond myself. And that's actually a beautiful thing if you look at it in that way. You know, there's a lot of people that can learn that big lesson from a Gemini woman in caring for themselves. And making themselves a priority. And I think sometimes because they are so giving and they know that they need to take time for themselves, they can be bothered because they're pulled in 2 different directions and end up like being in 2 minds, you know, where other people need them, but they need themselves. So that's something that they have to, that they may struggle with and need to find balance with over time. They're very, very amazing at giving advice. If you want real advice that's solid, that's going to be advice that's unbiased, where they can see every side of a story, you know, they're great mediators, that sort of thing. A Gemini person is going to be the one that you want to go to, especially a Gemini female. Okay. All right, guys, I hope that this was helpful for you. If it was, please let me know in the comment section below how you guys felt about it. Like, share, comment, subscribe to my channel. I do post new videos all the time, so I appreciate all your guys' support and love. Peace, love, and blessings to you always.